Welcome to In It to Win It. This is Steve Barton, and thank you for tuning in. We are here for Monday market moves, what happened last week in the markets, and what we expect for next week. And thank you for allowing me to do work that I find meaningful. Thank you for giving me the most valuable commodity you have, your attention. I promise to do my very best to give you a return on it. Alrighty, let's go to the charts. Starting out as always with the S&P 500. So this was pretty interesting. I was watching this really closely yesterday and today, and for 2 days we we're down below this 200 or this 20 moving average, and we closed just above it to close the week. So we expect next week, same story, keep going up. The dollar was basically flat for the week, but volatile. Got up to 105s, which is where we're saying the resistance is, and then got down to like the 104s, hit on the 200 and the 50. Would expect with this reversal bar to the downside for it to come back down here, touch probably, in the high 103s again, and then probably bounce up. 2-year yields are up, 10-year yields are up above the 200 on the 10-year. That's interesting. And if we do the 10-year yield minus the 2-year yield, we can see that looks to be following path here. So I'm going to go out to the monthly and spread this way out, going back to the 80s here. And we think we're going to follow this white line right here, exit clown world, and eventually long-term debt will pay more than short-term debt. But in the meantime, we expect it to kind of follow and catch this 200 moving average as it rises up. 1-month treasury still paying over 5%, but notice that the yield is starting to go down a little bit. The 2-year, so that's the 1-month 5.365, 2-month 5.38. So these have been trading very close to each other recently in this week, which is pretty interesting. TLT, wondering if this bet is going to grenade. We shall see. If the Fed reverses course, which according to Vegas odds has them doing in a couple of months here, then this should do quite well. We're down about 5 or 6%. Remember, it's just paying a little tiny dividend every month. So we'll see how this one irons out. Gold, this is really interesting. New all-time daily high, new all-time weekly high, and last month we had the all-time quarterly and monthly high. So I guess if gold is running like this, that means that the economy is probably not going to do well. Your average Joe and Jane, I think, are going to get throttled. Almost no one has precious metals. This isn't looking good for the economy at all, although it's looking wonderful for our portfolios. How you guys are doing in your portfolio, put it in the comments below. I've on some of the live streams, I've seen that some guys are up 40% in the last couple of weeks. Pretty amazing. Let everyone know how you're doing. Would love to hear it. Yeah, pretty incredible with gold. Not good for the economy. I'm wondering to take profits or not. I don't want to sell anything, but if there is a time to do it, this may be it on like going to the point of no concern on some of your leverage bets. This is gold divided by the S&P 500. We're up to 0.5 here, just outperforming the S&P 500. And Jason had a question here. He said, I'm past the point of concern on my uranium stocks. Well done, sir. Actually, it's really not even a question. I think it's more of one on something we can learn here. Now, past the point of concern on my gold and silver too. Well done. I've never slept better. I remember in the 1970s. So he's been around for this since the 70s, when silver and oil skyrocketed. My dad had a big chest full of silver Kennedy half dollars and silver quarters. We pulled it out and added everything up. I was hooked on precious metals ever since. But having lived through the 70s, I am increasingly feeling like this is a repeat. If it is, silver will explode from here, and oil too. I think it's going to happen. Anyways, couldn't have done it without this channel. Thanks again, Jason. That's amazing to hear. This is why I do it. And I got to give you credit too. I mean, you pulled the trigger. So you can watch all you want, but if you never press buy, you're not going to make it. So well done. Let's see. Swervo says, would you consider doing a segment on when to sell certain stocks? I see a lot of YouTubers saying when to buy, but few, if any, talk about when to sell, which is arguably more important. This is an example I thought of here as far as when to sell. I think what you're asking is, kind of some of the long-term positions, or maybe you're just asking technically, but like, look at this one. This is the Sprott Physical Gold Trust. We got into this about 3 years ago. And we bought in, and just on technicals here, see, we had a double bottom. This is in the daily. The RSI is low, MACD's in the toilet, but curving up. Stochastic's low. And then over here, this was March of 2022, we had the war premium. So back in, I think it was February 24th, Russia invaded Ukraine, gold shot up, kind of like it's doing now. We sold half our position, and we started rotating it into uranium stocks. And we also bought the house and needed a down payment for the place where we are today. And this was a big part of the down payment. So I look at this as cash. It's volatile cash, but it's cash. If you're going to sell anything in gold right now, if it were me, I would be selling the physical positions. And by physical, I mean the physical ones in the stock market. This is one of them. So looking here, if you wanted to take some profits, move to the point of no concern, check out where all the technicals are here, stretched all the way up, right? We are breaking out of a long, like 12-year cup and handle pattern. So I got to put that caveat out there too. If nothing you did was just buy the breakouts of cup and handles, you'd probably be doing okay. But anyways, pretty stretched technicals. Okay, GLD put is getting slaughtered. That may expire worthless. If we do get a correction, which I thought was coming in gold, but just hasn't happened, this has got to play a lot of catch up. But everything else in the portfolio is doing amazing. So there it is. GDX up 7% again for the week. Next level of resistance going to be around 36, just lining up with this. GDX divided by gold. So GDX started outperforming gold the end of February, did all of March, and now into April, continuing to do the same thing. Excuse me. And GDXJ up 7.5% again for the week. Next level of resistance up here is going to be around 43.50 or so. And GDXJ divided by gold and outperforming above the 200 moving average. We think that I really think over the next few years this is going to outperform, but we shall see. Franco, Nevada, I think we got a new floor. The previous floor of 110 to 112 probably isn't going to happen. New floor is probably around 116, 117, something like that. Wheaton Precious Metals, no entries that we see, but is tapping on the door of some resistance here around 50. Next level of resistance is going to be 52. Gold Royalty Corporation, our little darling, Brian says, bought loads of this back at 130. Awesome. We did as well, performing really good. Don't see any entries here. Getting kind of stretched on the technicals. Would like to see it pull back just a little bit, but we got a golden cross here, so it's probably moving up. Metalla Royalty. We doubled down our share count right here from accumulating this thing back in March of 2021, and then again here, and then doubled our position here. We're still down about 30%, but great to see that some of their royalties are coming online and starting to produce some income, and it's hitting right around the 200 moving average, closing slightly above it. So that's cool. Origin Royalties, this bear flag pattern is still kind of playing out. I'm sorry, bull flag pattern is starting to play out here. I would think anything down here around 61 cents or so for a limit order might be good. This is probably going to resolve to the upside. Unless gold corrects down, then this will bring this down more as well. And Empress Royalty, MG wants to know about Empress Royalty. This is another very small one. I think their market cap is like 35 million. Well, we could just look here. Let's see. 33. Okay. 33 million, very small market cap, but just starting out. I don't see any real technical entries into here. I'd just like to see this correct back down to like the 200 moving average. Kind of, there's a lot of price action right down here around the 22, 23 cent level. This is the over the counter. That's kind of where I would be looking MJ or GM, sorry. Barrick Gold up 7% last week, 10% this week. I mean, just screaming. This thing is looking amazing. Newmont, same kind of thing, up 6% last week, 9% this week. Just if gold's going to do well, then the biggest gold miners on the planet should do very well. Agnico Eagle up 7% last week, 4% this week, kind of grinding sideways. Looks like it might be putting in a bit of a topping pattern. Up big time on this one. Like this one a lot. Going to hold this one for the duration of the bull market. G Mining Ventures, the cup and handle did not form. It broke down too far on this one. So when you're running these cup and handles, if you look at the bottom to the top, so that's 50%, 61.8. This orange one right here is the 38% retracement. If it goes beyond that any more than the 50%, then the cup and handle, the handle of the cup is kind of negated. So that didn't play out. But moving up to the upside, as far as like an entry, maybe around here, like 155, and then another one down here around 135, something like that. Rio 2. I said Rio Tinto last week. That was a misspeak. Rio 2. So we interviewed Alex Black. They needed 135 million at the time of that interview. I think they need 110 left. So still raising capital. Looks like it's forming some kind of cup pattern here, which is kind of exciting. Would like to see this come back down, 38% retracement, and then boom. So we'll see how that irons out. Silver up 10% for the week. Incredible. Blew through 26, and now 26 is going to be the new support. So now it has to go down through 26 to get beyond that, and there's so much price action right there. Hopefully it holds. Technicals are really stretched here, but hopefully this new range that we trade in is between 26 and 28. This is from Lazar. He says, how about the gold-silver ratio? Okay, here we are, 85 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. Pretty interesting, hitting on the 200 moving average right here. I don't pay a heck of a lot of attention to this other than it tells me what to buy. So if we zoom out here on the monthly and go back to what TradingView allows back in the 70s, if we pick some of the lows here, back here is in the 80s, and we know that that's when silver was $50 an ounce, and the ratio got down to 17-1, time to sell your silver and buy some gold. And then if we find some other ones down here around the dot-com bubble, right? And then another time here when silver shot up again to $50, got the ratio down around 30-1, time to trade your silver for gold. I think now's the time to be accumulating at least physical silver because it's very cheap in relation to gold. So once this ratio gets normalized, maybe gets down to like 45-1 or maybe even 30-1, I think it's time to make the trade the other way around. And SILJ up 5% last week and up 12% for this week. So if you had any trading positions in here, might not be a bad time to take some profits, but pretty cool. We only have what's left in here in our long-term portfolio, so we're not selling anything. Expect it to kind of correct a little bit more likely than not. But yeah, if you got some trading positions in there, you're probably up quite a bit. Might be time to trim. Pan American Silver up 9% last week and 16% this week. Absolutely amazing. Blew through some resistance right there. Next level of resistance is going to be around, let me back this up just a little bit, and it'll be around 19 bucks, something like that. SILV, Silvercrest, this one is up 1% last week and 7% this week, looking great. We'll get an update on this from Rick Rule here soon. He's coming back on the show in a couple of weeks. And Troy wants to know about Endeavor Silver. Now, this one's kind of interesting. Let me go out on the monthly here. And so basically this pattern that we've seen is, and not that it has to obey it or anything, but we've seen this kind of down channel for a long time, for years, and then it breaks out, and then down channel, and then it breaks out. Now, is this trend line mean anything? Not really, but generally on that pattern, it's kind of broken through it. So have we actually broken through here? I don't know. Everything's really stretched here on it. This is in the weekly. You can see how high the RSI, and in the daily, same thing. Everything's super stretched. It is above the 200 daily, so that's good. But I'd be looking more along the flat line right here, right where it is. Let me put in a horizontal line, and then we'll back up. And we can see there's quite a bit of resistance around where it is now. So if silver rolls over a little bit, this one's probably going to get hit pretty hard with it. But if you had some options in there like David Skrika did, you made out like a bandit. And Totico wants to know about GR silver mining. I don't see any entries here at all, although, yeah, take a look at this one back at the end of February. See how it hits on the, this is in the weekly time frame, hits on the 50 weekly, and then if we go to the daily, it times up perfectly right here with the 200 daily. So that would have been an amazing entry point. Comes up on a double bottom right here with a lot of support in that same range. That would have been the ticket right there. Whoops. That would have been the ticket right there if you could catch it. But I don't see any entries into this right now. You know, only 60 million market cap, so super small, limit orders only. Copper, paging Dr. Copper, amazing week. It's up 6%, closed the week at 424. Maybe $4 here is the new support. That's where this horizontal line is drawn in. Hopefully it is, and it just keeps right on keeping right there with the $4 level. But looking like it's going to go up or down next week. I'm going to say it'll correct a little bit. Looking a little stretched. Look at the RSI, look at the MACD, look at the stochastic. COPX, our favorite copper miners ETF. Just been buying this one on pullbacks for the last year or so. Fully expect to hold this for the next 3 to 5 years. Kind of a topping pattern put in right there, but it is up 5% for the week. And this is kind of rare that copper is up 6, COPX is up 5, and COPJ is up 4. So it's kind of rare that these miners are up less than the commodity itself, but maybe they got to play a little bit of catch up here. Arizona Metals up 13% for the week. Awesome. Looking like it's kind of following this trend line. Did hit on the 200-day moving average, probably not a coincidence, and then bounce back down. And Dave wants to know about Chicana Copper. I think we've looked this one up before. I don't see any entries right now, but this is forming kind of an interesting pattern, and you guys can probably already see it without me saying it. If we go back here to January, the cup and handle pattern needs to be at least 7 weeks minimum in time duration for this to kind of matter. And we've got it back at the end of January. So we got all of February, all of March, we're good. Now we need the handle to form like this. So we want to see this kind of go like that and then down slightly, not more than 38% and certainly not more than 50. And then that would be kind of a neat little pattern that you might be able to play off of there. But yeah, looking interesting, leveraged way on copper. Also highly risky, 21 million market cap and only 15 million of that is available to retail. So buyer beware. Okay, uranium is pretty much flat for the week. I think last week it was 89, now it's 89. Pretty flat for the week, unexciting there. And Sprott Physical Uranium Trust is trading at a, I think it was a 5.13% discount. Check this number out, 63 million 711,000. So we added 100,000 pounds of U3O8 to the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, unavailable for the utilities. Pretty cool. At that point, it did go to a slight premium, so they purchased some. But remember, back here, it was at I think it was like a 12 or 13% discount back here. So we bought some, and that's just kind of the name of the game. The kindergarten method of doing this is still working. Cameco up 13% for the week. Looks like it might be forming like a triple top right here. We'll see how that irons out. Because Atomprom is up 6% for the week. It touched on, let me see the weekly here. No, not really. Maybe forming a cup. Yeah, kind of a cupish pattern here. I'd like to see this higher than that, but I guess beggars can't be choosers. Pretty interesting. So it did touch down here on the 200 daily a couple of weeks ago. Don't see any entries here. Maybe, I don't know, a limit order down here around 38.50. So next level of resistance up top is going to be about 44. So pretty close to where it is now. URA up 6% for the week. We have the support down here at 27. URNM up 6% for the week. And we've got support at 47. And then the all-time highs up here around like 58. URNJ looking amazing. So we rotated some of our money out of URNM and into URNJ around here. I think this is going to outperform URNM going forward for the next year or so. Pretty excited about that one. UROY up 8% for the week. Our option is still on. Doesn't expire until October. So if U3O8 continues to move up the spot price, this one should do quite well, should follow. And the 4Us, Energy Fuels, looking really good. Daniel and I were talking here on about taking profits when it reached up here. I think we're up about 30%. We ended up not doing it. We think it's going to cross through this 200 moving average, but time will tell. Expires in September. All right, and oil. Crude oil up 4.5% for the week, looking great. Now, you'll remember last week we had this downward channel trend line, not super reliable, only hits over here at 1, 2, and then 3 points right there. Broke through it as it touched right there for the 4th time, and then broke through, so we can get rid of this. And the real one that it busted through is this $84 level. Broke through that. There was a boatload of resistance around $84, and it smoked through that in the week, closed the week at $86.91. And the next level of resistance that I really see, there's a tiny bit right here at like 89, and then a lot more up at 94.50. So those are the levels to watch. XLE up 4% for the week. This is looking amazing. Just hold, collect your dividends, and ride out this oil bull run and run in commodities. Exxon Mobil, don't see any entries, but looking amazing, up about 4%. Possible cup pattern forming right here. We'll see. Kind of had one right here, but then it just fell out of bed. That's when we made all our entries. Maybe we'll get another one right here. We'll see. Very bullish looking chart. And Blackstone Minerals, Frank Sinatra, old Blue Eyes, says, bought some BSM a few weeks ago and wanted to get more on a pullback. I can't believe the dividend. Thank you for that. Well, this one came from Rick Rule, and then I passed it on to you guys. And so far, this has been amazing. I've been looking this up, and the dividends that you're getting is pretty incredible. It's like almost 12%. So this thing could just go sideways and we make money. I love this one a lot. Great for the long-term portfolio. And for our Canucks, north of the border, it's all about freehold. Right here, don't see any entries. I'd try to snag it down here around the 200 and the 50 moving average, which is around $14, and then maybe another limit order down here around 13. Woodside Energy, option is still on. We're debating selling it because we're up about 30%, but I think we're going to hang on here. We got support of the 50-day moving average. And if we look here on the weekly, it shot up above the 200 weekly, which is sloping up now. That's looking pretty bullish. I think we got a little room to run. Is hitting on the 20 weekly moving average. So that's a little bit of resistance there. Alrighty, and Keystone wants to know about Suncor Energy. I haven't looked into this one as far as any fundamentals, but on the charts, I also don't really see anything here. He says, can you analyze this next week? I got in the low 30s and under. Well done, sir. Nice catch. I'm assuming you did it back here when it was hitting around the 200 moving average. If you did it recently, and nice run up, you're up probably 25%. I would just look at this as a strong hold for the oil bull market and collect your dividends in the meantime, and yeah, just let it ride. Let's see what the dividends are here. Yeah, not bad. 4%. Keep it. Natural gas getting pretty flat for the week, and this was another idea from Lazar, taking natural gas and dividing it by oil. And if I zoom out here on the monthly, we can see this goes back to the 90s, kind of on a historic low. So that's basically, the further down this goes means the cheaper that gas is getting in relation to oil. We're hitting on a double bottom that goes back 12 years. So I think natural gas is pretty cheap right now. The way we're playing that is Devon. You know, I don't necessarily see any buy points right now on Devon, but just having a great run here. We had a double bottom, another chance to get in right back here in February, and just a monumental run up. We are hitting on the 400 daily right here, but very bullish looking chart. Pretty cool. Up 6% for the week. Equitable, the other natural gas play, we've got a limit order in. We moved it up to 33. This one's actually down about 1% for the week, but would like to get some more. So hopefully it'll come back down. We got an alert here set for 33.20. If we're in front of the computer when it hits that, we'll probably just buy it. And Ray, thoughts on TRGP? Okay, Targa Resources, natural gas play, and let's see, 25 billion market cap. So you can do market orders to your heart's content. I don't see any entries here. Let me zoom out on the weekly. Yeah, I mean, this has just had a heck of a run. Yeah, I don't see any entries on this right now, Ray. But maybe if it came back down here around the 87 level, somewhere around that, 85, there's a decent amount of support back there between 80 and 85 bucks. And coal, this is exciting. So thermal coal, we just had Matt Warder on the show. If you didn't check that out, I would highly recommend it. I'll put a link up here for you to do so. And okay, so close the week at 130, basically flat on thermal coal. And for met coal, this is where it's getting really exciting. Okay, so down around 228 to close the week. So this stuff is starting to get cheap. And according to Matt, it's probably going to get cheaper. Nothing we need to rush into. We probably have several months where there's going to be some weakness, and pretty predictable too. I mean, like if you look at the seasonality here, look, June, July low, high, June, July low, high, approaching June, July, right? Way we're playing that here is the ETF COAL. You'll remember last week that I put this green arrow here, right where that's pointing to, there was a blue arrow right there, and it was a limit order that I put in and I thought it hit, but after checking with the account, it never filled. So today I took out a position, got in at 22.55. The position that I thought I had over here happened to be the same price, so that was convenient. Then also put in some more limit orders after our episode with Matt. Got them in down here at 22.10, and then again at 21.50, and again at 21. So hopefully this gets weaker and we are able to scoop up more. Glencore, our favorite here, is up 5% for the week. Fantastic. We still have our limit order in down here for $8.56. We should probably pull that. It's probably a pipe dream. Don't see any entries here, but looking really good. Maybe we'll get this to come back down to the 200 around 11 bucks, and that might create something. AMR, Matt's number one pick. Okay, so we got our limit order now for 300 here, and then kept the other one down here for 265. That may not hit. We're basically trying to catch it on the 200, but as the prices run up, the 200 is rapidly rising. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky there. And another one of his big picks here is Warrior Met Coal. So both these are Met, AMR, and Whitehaven. I'm sorry, Warrior Met Coal are coking coal. Limit orders for 52, 50, 49, and 45. And just like every time we do this, as it gets cheaper, we buy more shares. So let's say we want to, we'll make the math easy here. And let's say we want 10 shares. We buy 1 share here, 2 shares here, 3 shares here, and then our final 4 shares maybe down here around 40 bucks, right? And what do we got here? Console. So this would be moving on to thermal coal. Matt's a lot more bullish on met, so we're not going to buy any of this, but if you were to, maybe around here, first entry point around like 77, something like that, and then some limit orders going down to like 60 bucks. Yan coal, the dividend play. So let me zoom out here and you can kind of see the effect of these dividends. So look at the chart here, and then we're going to adjust for dividends. And it's a different looking chart. Look at how much more it goes up over here. We'll zoom in to this part, and no dividends goes down, adjusted for dividends goes up quite a bit. So this is definitely your dividend play when it comes to coal. Don't really see any entries right now. Maybe one along this 400 weekly down here around $4 and what is that, 80 cents or so? Yeah, like 480. Then 435, and then back. Yeah, 435, something like that. Okay, Whitehaven. Entry points on Whitehaven. Maybe another one down here like 630, 575. Yeah, $6 around there. Just slowly add. We have time. BTU Peabody. This one, when I looked at the chart, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Went below the 200 moving average, which is kind of a bummer. But there's quite a bit of back support around like $21. Okay, so these should get cheaper as we get further into the shoulder season. But I think we need to start kind of picking our spots and buying the bottoms, just like we've been doing with copper for the last year. Bitcoin closed the week. Well, it never closes. It's always trading. 67,000. The halving is coming up soon. I'm very curious to see if this goes up or below this white line. I don't really have any bias one way or the other, but it will be interesting to see. Platinum is up 2% for the week. Got above the 200 daily moving average. That is pretty interesting. We need to wait for Russia to stop dehoarding their platinum. Here's the PPLT support. I think a limit order around 80 bucks is pretty good for this thing. You know, it's probably going to take a few years for this to iron out. Palladium closed the week just above 1,000, but basically flat for the week. And support's going to be around 1915. And if you want to get into the PAL, basically a warehouse full of platinum and palladium bars, I like a limit order around 85 bucks. The SPPPs brought platinum and palladium trust. Same kind of thing, limit orders around 9 bucks. If you get it south of that, then it's a good deal. Iron ore is dropped below $100. Pretty interesting, lining up with some back support back here. BHP, we closed the option on BHP, and oh, I forgot to say we closed the option on BSM as well. What was I think our profit on BSM was 53%. Okay, so BHP, we closed the option a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. We got an alert down here for $56. Might put another option on if it gets down around that level. We'll see. Dividends are amazing in that company. Rio Tinto, this one, we had a limit order hit for about $62 a few weeks ago, and we have more limit orders out here for 60 and 58.50. Although this close on Friday is looking kind of promising because see, if we line it up back here, we might have a general uptrend right now. We'll see. Still under the 200 moving average. Would love to see this one get cheaper and then we can get more. And VALE option still on, although it's tanking. We have a shred of support. Let me get rid of this white line and then you can see it, but just a shred of support back here going back to September of 2022. If it breaks that, we have a decision. So we'll see. And the last random option, we still have Unity software on. Getting a little nervous here. We thought it would pop a lot sooner than just still hasn't yet. Expires in June. Would like to offload this thing, but not. I mean, the chart still looks really good. There's a lot of back support right where it is now. We just need it to pop. Alrighty, well, I hope you guys got something out of that. Support the show. Hit the like and subscribe, and thank you for always being here. We have Rick Rules boot camp coming up. There is a link in the pinned comment below. We'll also be out at the Rules Symposium coming in July. Super excited for that. Would love to see you guys out there and meet you face to face. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe, and share this with anyone that you think needs to hear it. It's probably your buddy that can't stop talking about tech stocks. You have yourself a great rest of the day, and we will talk to you next time.